evening, Cyclone hockey fans, and welcome to another edition of the Murdoch Show. I'm your host today, filling in for Kevin Way. My name is Sean Sears, here with General Manager and Head Coach Dr. Murdoch. Coach, you got anything to say before we get rolling?
Oh, man alive. Good to have you on board, Sean. You've been doing great work this past year, doing all kinds of stuff, and it's good to have you on the show. All kinds of exciting stuff for us to talk about today. You know, we had both teams qualify for nationals this year. Division I team qualified and was in Cleveland here. Seems like just a day or two ago, but it was a couple of weeks ago. We had the D3 team also qualify for nationals. Great showing, Brendan Sheehan and their crew going all the way to the Final Four. So great job. We had players go to the NCAA or ACHA Division I All-Star game this past weekend. Brian Rooney. He was one of the fastest guys on the ice. They had that speed skating contest, and he didn't end up winning it, but he was real close. He was one of the top guys, real fast. Brandon Clark, you know, is one of the top shooters on the hardest shot. You know, he's got a pretty heavy shot. He didn't win it, but he was one of the best out there. Lots of news about former players around the country. You know, we got Glenn Detulleo, who played his last game as a pro a week ago on Friday night, and on Saturday night he was the head coach on the bench at the Huntsville Havoc. So great thing, 11-year pro career for Glenn Detulleo. I thought he was going to play forever. Mike Liebler doing well over in Linz, Austria, and their team is playing very well. Eric Hudson had a great season along with Matt Cohen. So just lots of good stuff. We just got through midterm week, and we've been having one-on-ones with all the players, talking about academics, and we're going to have a special guest on a little bit later, one of our top academic people, John Feavel from Alaska. Full force ahead on scheduling. You know, it's an exciting time of the year. Our schedule is tentative until we get signed contracts from all the teams, but backed by popular demand, Iowa is back on the schedule.
It's a good thing.
Oh, man, alive. We're excited about that. And a couple of new names. Big 12 teams on the schedule. West Virginia is going to be coming to town tentatively on the same weekend as West Virginia's football team, newest addition to the Big 12. And Texas Tech, up-and-coming team in hockey, going to be coming to town tentatively on the same weekend that we play Texas Tech here in town in football. So a couple of great things, but lots of other events coming up, and we're going to have a full show tonight. It's going to be unbelievable.
Well, that's for sure. Well, after a great season like we had, it starts out with recruiting. How far or how well has recruiting gone so far for you guys?
Recruiting is an all-the-time thing. You know, we only have one senior on the D1 team and 4 seniors on the D3 team. So we've got some slots to fill. Next year, you know, we'll bump up the number of players that we have in the D1 program up to 28. You know, World University Games year, we like to have a few extra players in the lineup, you know, because we've always had players that have made the World University Games team. So with 28, graduating Rooney, having a few guys out with injuries, we hope they come back, but we always have to play it safe. So I expect us to have 6, 8 new recruits, you know, trying out for the Division I team, and 6, 8 new recruits trying out for the Division III team. So we'll have a full stable, as well as the D3 team has done. We anticipate there will be some players that will be trying to move up to the Division I program. Good relationship between the two teams. You know, we had lots of Mondays where we had 4 or 5 or 6 guys from the D3 team, and expect this next season to be no different.
Okay. Well, I guess one of the D3 players, Scott Isman, had a great year at D3. What do you think his chances are for next year?
Oh, I think you know, he's a real solid player. He comes with a good background playing his hockey in Alberta and British Columbia. Okay. You know, he played a lot of games up there, saw a lot of rubber. I think that did them well for the D3 championship. You know, sometimes for our players, you know, there are players on the D3 team that could be on the D1 team, but because of class scheduling or academics, it just fits better. With D3, Scott, you know, we talked to him about the opportunity. We're pretty deep with new goaltenders this year. You know, with Paul Karras back, of course, as a veteran, Jared Anderson as a new player, and Peter Alexander as a new player. But with injuries and, you know, concussions this year, you know, Ness came up from the D3 program to practice with us, played in several games in the second half of the season. But Scott Ismond is one where, you know, the opportunity, you know, maybe to be back up with Division I or, you know, a starter for Division III. Sometimes the players say, hey, kind of like the idea of being a starter. So it proved to be a good gamble on his part and our part, having him down there. I would think that he would be one that would be wanting to at least try out next fall for the D1 team. And he's a good one. There's lots of other fellows that are real good and, you know, deserve a good shot. And we'll certainly see that they get that.
Yeah. Well, play as well as we do. It's tough to make a team, but you hope for the best.
You bet.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, Glenn Detulleo is officially retired and coaching for the Huntsville Head. What are some of your highlights of his 12-year career?
Oh, man, alive. There's almost too many highlights to name. He still holds a lot of the scoring records here at Iowa State. You know, over the years we played a lot of Division I NCAA teams, very good teams, and you know, there were several during his years that he played with us where he was every bit as good, if not better. So we were absolutely thrilled that we could recruit him out of Timmins, Ontario. You know, that would have been about 15 years ago. He, you know, he was waiting for the full ride to come somewhere, but decided to get a good education at a great school like Iowa State was a good risk. He was unique in it. He finished his degree in 3 years and 2 summers. He wanted to get on and play pro. You know, some of the highlights of his pro career, playing a couple of years over in Oslo, Norway, and then playing another year in Germany, and then making the trip with 3 years of pro experience in Europe back to North America. He played in 3 or 4 different professional leagues with 3 or 4 different teams, and he was always the leading goal scorer, leading point man for many of those teams in his 11-year pro career. And rather ironic, you know, when he played his last game a week ago Friday, he was still a leading point man on the team. And to retire being the leading point person on his team was unique. And then the next night being the head coach on the bench was, you know, a great story in itself. So I'm sure it'll be a feature story in our game program for this coming season. But real proud of Glenn, and, you know, the years slipped by. Jen, his wife, was a cheerleader here at Iowa State for us. So they got together, got married. They've got 3 kids now, 2 girls and a boy. So we've got some new young proteges coming up, so we'll recruit them down the road as well.
All right, well, Cyclone hockey fans, we're going to take our first commercial break. Next segment, we'll have Cyclone hockey winger John Feavel starting to come on with us. So stay tuned and come back.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake. Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, and welcome back to the show, Cyclone hockey fans. Back here with head coach and general manager Dr. Alan Murdoch and John Feavel. So, John, welcome to the show. First question to you after the season was done. Well, I mean, on the ice now. What are your thoughts on the season?
It was a good one. It was an improvement from last year, and so that's what you want. So yeah, I mean, it was a strong start, and then we were able to battle through, and I think we learned a lot about ourselves. That core group that we have, like moving up, we learned a lot about ourselves. Yeah. So I think we're kind of loading the gun for the next few years, and I think it was a good building season. So
yeah, you hope to learn players, learn a little bit more of their tendencies, work better. Yeah. Coach, what was John's importance to the red line and the offense, really?
Yeah, he was a key player on that red unit. I think he instilled a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. You know, he was a crowd favorite. He was able to take it end to end sometimes, and the defensemen are usually able to find him. And if it wasn't a particularly good pass, he could corral the puck and, you know, make a good rush down the ice. It was always exciting. He wouldn't know it, but whenever he was on the ice and he got the puck, I would usually say to the rest of the team on the bench, "Here comes a goal." And sure enough, he'd get a goal or he'd set up his line mates. He played a lot of the season with Kukulia, also from Alaska, and Kurbatsky from California. And, you know, they spent a lot of time with Bennett, also from Alaska. So we got 3 Alaska guys in one unit. And then Dominic Toigo from British Columbia. So we got the West Coast, the Northwest, and the Southwest pretty well covered in that unit.
That's true. I remember there was one goal you had, and I don't necessarily remember what exactly happened, but Kevin was speechless. Just words came out, nobody knew what he said, but goal came out eventually, and people went nuts. But he used to love calling your goals. Coach, the end of the year's banquet is coming up. How has that evolved from when it started and what it is now?
Yeah, the banquet's always been a major event of the year. It kind of brings to a close this season and is a kickoff for the next season. Our schedule is real close to being completed, so we'll have a rough draft of that we can talk about. We kind of bring recognition to individuals. The whole team gets recognized and gets to come up front in front of the big crowd, and it's a fun event. The coaches all get a chance to talk. John will be one of the guys up there. Real proud of John. He's in his sophomore year now. Still pretty young, but he's starting to show great leadership on the ice and off the ice. And in particular, a very important thing to our program is academics. And he's one of our strongest students on the team. So not only is he one of the top 3 in scoring, but he's one of the top 3 or 4 in grade point as well.
You love that. That's
you bet.
Exactly what you look for, a student athlete. John, what are some of your favorite things about the banquet? As you've been through one. What was your favorite part about it?
Yeah, I think just the atmosphere of it all. It's kind of you get to get everyone in the same room, everyone that's associated with the program, and then not only that, I think they get to see the funner side of things too, with some of the speeches, like the senior speeches, and then it's always good thanking everyone that kind of contributes and helps make things tick. So it's good to be able to say thank you and then have some fun with it too and have fun with those people. So
yeah, that's what you'd like to see. What are you expecting from Brian Rooney's speech? Being the only senior, kind of a class clown type of guy, but an excellent leader.
I don't know what I expect, I guess. I'm sure there's going to be some talk about his love for yours truly, Sean. But other than that, yeah, I don't know what he's got in store.
Hopefully he keeps his clothes on.
Yeah, some kind of new bobblehead. I don't know what he's got, but should be good at least.
I'm sure he will not fail to amuse. So.
Yeah.
One of the upcoming events for us is the call-a-thon. Coach, what are you expecting to get out of the call-a-thon?
It's going to be great. The freshmen really have no idea what to expect. The sophomores, they see it's at first a little bit of a scary deal, picking up a phone and calling people. The juniors, seniors know that it's a great experience, and they see, someone like Brian Rooney will know that his turn has come to get the telephone calls. But it's a great experience talking to some of the alums from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We've got an alum out in California that was here back in the late 40s and early 50s when they played hockey on Lake Laverne. So players will get to hear stories like that. They'll get to hear a little bit about the history. They'll talk to players that played in Hilton Coliseum. They'll talk to cheerleaders who cheered in the old arena next to the new arena. There'll just be lots of great conversations. We're taking up a notch on the call-a-thon this year in that we're not only calling alums and supporters of Cyclone Hockey, but we're going to call all of our advertisers and thank them for the great support they've given us over the past season, because without the advertisers, our program couldn't exist. And at the same time, they'll give them an opportunity to renew their advertising package for next year, and that helps the players and helps the team. Plus, we'll probably be contacting some new potential advertisers, new backers. People are always dying. You know, I probably average 1 or 2 emails a week from sponsors who want to know how they can get on board. And, of course, our coaching staff will be involved. You know, relatively new to this program, Kyle McDonald. He'll see how a call-a-thon works, and he'll get to talk to lots of people as well. Brandon Sheehan, this will be his 2nd year getting into the swing of things, and you know, we'll have D1 players calling, we'll have D3 players calling, we'll have cheer squad calling, we'll have marketing team members calling, we'll have coaching staff calling. So we'll have tons of people calling over a 4-day period next week, and it's one of our major fundraisers of the year. The overall objective of the call-a-thon is not just to call for money, but to give people an update on our program. So we'll have literally 12 phones at a time going from 3 in the afternoon till 9 at night for 4 days in a row. And believe it or not, we'll generate in the neighborhood of $50,000 to $60,000 in that 4 days. And without that kind of support, our program could not exist.
Yeah, that's huge. It's great to hear from fans, from alums, and just from people that are interested in Cyclone hockey.
You bet. Our website will have lots of information as well. You know, we have pictures of current players, players of the week. You know, this is John's 2nd time on this season. He was player of the week fall semester. So they always want to know how to get pictures. We have reruns of this show and other shows on our website as well, and how to get in contact. And, you know, the other part about the call-a-thon, we'll help people renew their season ticket packages. We'll have the opportunity to do lots of other stuff. You know, the banquet, Saturday night, it'll be standing room only at the ISU Alumni Center. And, you know, there'll be lots of good talks and lots of good speeches. Another event that's coming up is the VEISHA Parade. You know, one of the popular things about the VEISHA Parade is the Cyclone hockey players and cheer squad, you know, either get to rollerblade down the street with the fire engine or sit on the fire engine. We've been with the Kelly fire engine for several years now, and we hope to get that fire engine again this year. So lots of exciting stuff, man alive. You know, we need to have a 1-hour show instead of a half-hour show.
Yeah.
Just to talk about all the good stuff, John.
Sounds good. All right, Cyclone Hockey, we're going to take one more commercial break. When we come back, we'll hand in some final notes and talk about a few sponsors. Stay tuned.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
welcome back, Cyclone Hockey. I'm your host, once again, Sean Sears, filling in for Kevin Way. I'm here again with General Manager and Head Coach Dr. Alan Murdoch and John Feavel. John, we were talking about VEISHA before we went into break. What are some of expectations for VEISHA? I mean, rollerblading, sitting in the fire truck, sounds like a good time.
Yeah. I mean, the parade is fun for all the guys. Trying to make candy in the buckets and everything. But, so I mean, that's always a blast. And then usually that's the time where you have friends from all over our family that day want to check out what VEISHA is all about. So I mean, that's one of the highlights too, is getting to see all your friends in that fun environment and some of the stuff that ISU has to
yeah, it's something to look forward to. We were talking about academics before. I know you're a great student. What are your plans for major and things on the future?
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm a finance major now. I just got really interested in it over one of the summers back home, and I never would have thought I would have. But
yeah. So
I'm going forward with that, and I guess when doing it, it helps to be kind of interested in what you want to do for a living. So that's kind of just sparked a passion and not wanting to fail at it, and not wanting to let all that information that I can take in pass me by. So
that's great. So, do something you love. So
yeah.
Gotta love that. Coach, we were talking about group sales and season tickets before. Why don't we tell our fans what they get to look forward to?
You bet. A couple of our other major ways that people can come to hockey games is, through season tickets. That gets you in the express lane to get into the hockey rink without waiting in line out in the cold. But group sales are also very popular. A lot of the residence halls take advantage of it. A lot of the fraternities and sororities, a lot of the campus organizations, actually, they make it an event coming to the game. Sometimes we can make it so that they get recognized at the game or have an event themselves. But a couple of different ways. You can go to our website, www.cyclonehockey.com, and get all the information on season tickets and group sales. You can also just call our office, 294-6164. That's 515-294-6164. You can see it on the screen there now. Man alive, there's lots of opportunities available, and we're excited. On one hand, it's always a little bit of nostalgia to wrap up the current season, but it's always exciting to look forward to the next season. And banquet kind of ends one year and starts the next one. So we're excited.
As you should be. Before we go, we'd like to give a shout out to one special sponsor.
Oh, you bet. I've got tons of sponsors that I'd like to recognize. We've probably got a couple of hundred altogether. The major sponsors are the ones that get on the board advertisements. The academic departments, we're real pleased being a part of Iowa State so that students can get experience. I know, Sean, you're looking at being in this field. We've got interns all the time. A young lady by the name of Shaylee is watching tonight and, learning as much as she can about the show. She wants to have the flexibility of being a host down the road, maybe in the future here, someplace else. When I left the office tonight, I had half a dozen emails from current students and former students. I had a D3 player that emailed me and said, "Hey, Coach Murdoch, I'd sure appreciate it if you could write a letter of reference for me or be a reference for me." And I do that all the time, and I enjoy doing that. I feel that the employers out there, really help our players and our program going forward. A guy like John is more marketable than he realizes. I've got a couple of young lads in my family. My oldest son, he's with Morgan Stanley, investment banking and the hedge fund area, and that's a pretty exciting area. Has been for several years now, and is more so now with the economy up and down. My youngest son, Andrew, who played for the Cyclones and also helps coach, is with a company by the name of Transamerica. I'm going to have to charge them double for advertising. But I know they're hiring in the area. They're hiring interns. They're hiring full-time people. So all kinds of opportunities. And, of course, we've got all kinds of food sponsors. We've got summer hockey camps coming up this summer. So all the viewers out there, you want to meet John and some of the other people that come back to visit or around in the summertime or in the fall, come on out to our summer hockey schools. In June, we have a USA Select Camp. That's some of the best athletes in the Midwest. We like it when they come to Ames, Iowa for a week of hockey schools because we think that by getting them to visit, they'll come back and be a student and a prospective athlete in the future. So there are 3 other weeks. We're going to have a week in July this year. Coach McDonald's excited about it. I'll maybe try to get him on one of our future shows to talk a little bit more about the summer hockey schools. But that's going to be an elite camp for players, basically the 15 to 18-year-olds that are hoping to go on to college or junior hockey. And we've got players that are going to be coming in from Canada, from Russia, from Germany, from China, from all over the world. So I've got a feeling our summer hockey schools are going to fill up. We'll have instructors from all over the world as well. Guido Lamberti, who's living in Vancouver right now, is going to be one of our instructors, and he's originally from Germany. He played professional hockey and is also a great coach. So people like that, they make good connections, so that they can be like a Glenn Detulleo, a Mike Liebler, Eric Hudson, Matt Cohn, just to name a few of our guys that have gone on after they finished their degrees,
of course, and
played professional hockey. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, what's your favorite pizza, John?
Cheese and Alaskan seal.
Oh, man alive, I don't believe a word he's saying.
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni is good, but, what's your favorite pizza, Sean?
Ooh, I like Chicago-style pizza, like deep dish. But,
deep dish.
I'll eat anything just about.
Oh, man alive. And the great part about being part of the show, and our crew gets bigger, and the crew from the other shows, they like hanging out with Cyclone Hockey Show, because at the end of our show, we recognize one of our great sponsors, Pizza Pit. And it's so darn good. It's fast. It's hot. You can get delivery. You can just call the number 515-292-6600. It's the best pizza in town. And we have hot pizza here at the end of every show. And they literally shut down the whole campus just to come and have pizza with us after the show is over. Pizza Pit, best pizza in town. Man alive. I can smell it coming in the door right now. Pizza Pit is number 1.
All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight, guys. Thanks for stopping by. We hope to see you with our final show with Kevin Way hosting, probably. And enjoy the rest of your week and catch you on the flip side.